Welcome to Nirvana School of ThaiYoga Massage. This is our first video, and we have received a lot of requests from users online as well as face to face to start some sort of educational series, because the kind of philosophy or the kind of practices what we do, that's pretty much different as per the conventional massage that's available in the market, whether you go to a spa or Ayurveda or anything as such. The first image here, this is a ideal skeleton structure for any body, any any physical body. Looking into it, you can feel the relative position of the feet, knees, thigh joint, the girdle area. You can see the spine, specifically divided into the lumbar, thoracic, and the cervical region, the shoulder blades, the scapula, and your head or the skull part, how exactly that's positioned over the cervical region. Now the second clip gives you a much more in-depth in terms of the understanding of your body posture from the sideways position. If you see in this image, we have the feet, then the knees, the thigh region, the girdle area, the shoulders, the scapula, all the major muscles that controls your the body posture from the top, the cervical column, and the skull, how that's positioned over its top. Just by looking at the feet region to have any kind of changes within the feet, if we say that if you have problem in the knee, the 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 harmony of the knee has been compromised by tightening in the calf muscles, the lower calf muscles or the frontal thigh muscles, your feet will sway back and there would be a little bit of a D kind of curve from your thighs till your feet, and this will impact ideal body posture of anyone. This image, if we look into it, try to explain the posture balance, how exactly the relative positioning of all these major joints can have an impact and can make your body sway back or move forward or tilt forward. Just looking at the images, if you see at the back region, if you have much more tightening in the girdle region, what will happen that it will try to pull a lot of muscles from the back or from the thigh region, that can develop a lot of hardness in the inside rear end of your thighs. Specifically, since we know in modern today's time, anyone spends his entire life for 12 to 18 hours a day just by standing, and by the time we are 25 to 30s, we are almost hardened so much that that everyone, almost every second person, is going through a back pain in his 30s. So just understanding the lady with the hat, the body posture, if you see the relative positioning of her shoulder blades is making her shoulder roll forward and hung towards the front. So this is going to have a much more imbalanced positioning of these joints, and they are not in a straight line kind of, or the harmony and balanced posture. So this can make a person not only painful experiences, but even can make them in a stress position all the time. Now this is for people those complaints about a lot of headache, migraine, anxiety, feel lethargic all the time. The ideal positioning of our shoulder joints specifically, and our top of our head, they need to be in the balance. If you see um, this image from the left onwards, we have tried to explain that with aging, what happens, the relative positioning of your head keeps swaying in towards the front, and thus making your posture much more imbalanced all the time. Now, this positioning, what it does is that due to roll forward all the time, your front pectoralis muscles towards the chest, they really condensed, in a very abnormal way, and this even, you know, keeps your diaphragm trapped inside and never lets to have the optimum amount of oxygen that can be supplied to your lungs. So anyone who goes through a migraine pain or a chronic headache, anxiety, or continuous shoulder pain, or neck frozen for a very long period of time, what happens that this forward tilt makes all the major muscles, those are directly related to the cervical part or the brain region, or we can even say the autonomous nervous system, the trapezius, the rhomboids, the scapula, the pectoralis, sartorius anterior, up to name a few. Just by working on these muscles and positioning your body posture in a much more balanced way, we can have a very instantaneous reversal in the pain condition in a very short span of time. That usually uh, can't be done in a much more harmonious or the balanced way. Just by making structural changes in the posture, the results can be instantaneous. This next clip tries to explain most of the people, those are going to the gym, spending a lot of time there, and try to, give a proper shape to your physical structure. Now, what happens that these people, during the course of making a well built body structure, they tend to make your their shoulder region much more stiff and round forward. And this image just try to explain that if you have worked too much on your oblique muscles, that can contract the front abdominal muscles and even pull the pectoralis, and it can create a D kind of shoulder rounding position that can keep your mind and the upper body always in stress, hardening your trapezius, rhomboids, and keeping your autonomous nervous system in a stress situations all the time. And the the most right picture tries to explain that if this position has been complemented with the weak abdominal muscles, then you can have a rounding developed as well as a much more sway back um, spinal column. And this is the worst kind of situation that anyone can have. People those are going to the gym not with the enough or the proper guidance, that basically ends up making a lifetime deformity in their postural changes that are pretty hard to correct. Now, looking into this clip, we are trying to explain the main reason of different kind of back curvature that happens, and the prominent reason behind the back pain, lumbar pain, or the sacrum pain that usually people go through. And our girdle, the thigh joints, the rotators, and the positioning of the pelvis, the girdle, has to do a lot with that. Now, looking into these four skeletal structures, if you look into the middle two figures, you are trying to explain that just a forward tilt of your girdle due to hardening of the front thigh muscles like femoris muscle can make your girdle move towards the front, and due to that you might have a dip in your spinal column towards the back. And this is one of the prominent reason among most of the people, specifically the females, because due to the kind of natural cycle that they go through, the kind of phases in their life like puberty and having the pregnancy and the kids, this is one of the major reason for back pains. And the other possibility that we have when your girdle or the pelvis is basically moved backwards, and that's been pulled by the rear muscles of your thighs due to hardening and tightening, and this creates a flat flatness in your spinal column. In both these situations, what exactly is happening is the the balance or the within the posture has been not only lost, but by the tightening of the thigh back muscles or the frontal thigh muscles, your pelvis tends to move forward and backward, uh, leading it to major back pain problems. Now, the optimum way how we can handle this is by um, by using different yogic postures or the therapeutic based massage, um, sessions given over a period of time, because back muscles are conditioned by being in that kind of unharmonious situations over a long period of time. So that this requires a lot of regular attention, follow-ups, and but you can have the instantaneous effects after a therapeutic session in your back region, and it can last for a week, 10 days, or might be 15 or even a month. But due to the relative memory of our muscular structure, that might come back again. So a follow-up is always needed. Usually someone with a chronic back pain, we recommend to have at least 3 sessions within the first 1 month, 3 to 4 sessions. That has really helped down to find the optimum balanced posture for people those have been through the back problem from ages. So now we have reached towards the end of this presentation, and today we have tried to identify how the body posture changes due to hardening of muscles in different parts of our body, and how asymmetrical body posture can lead to different pain conditions. For more information, you can always visit our Facebook page and go to our website, that's www.thaiyoga.in.